I want to ask you this question. When last did you do something meaningful and special? Just take a second. If you've taken more than a few seconds, this video is for you because it's a video for you who has spent 20 years, 30 years doing something for other people, for your children, for your partner, for your husband, for people at work, and for whoever has been coming to you for help. Stay with me. I'm Linda, and if you are visiting this channel for the first time, welcome to Linda's Freedom, because I am going to be sharing something meaningful and special and liberating for women over 40 who have spent so much giving, sacrificing their time. Can you imagine being a mother when you have to sit up and the children are sick, preparing school lunches, making sure that the homework is done, making sure that the household is properly managed, making sure that you also go to work and you give the best at work, and making sure that you are a member of the community who is the go-to person. Imagine balancing all these things. You must give yourself a standing ovation for having gone through that. However, what I do know is that you are now looking at your bank balance, you are looking at your savings, and I can bet an eyelid there is that anxiety, there is that quiet voice that says, is it not too late? What is it that I can do? Because I am not comfortable about my financial health. I've been there. I gave so much of my time, my professional expertise. I became a go-to aunt, and I can tell you that I gave so much of myself, my professional life, that I had no life to myself. I didn't even read a good book. I was giving and giving and giving. I did not say no. I didn't think about myself. I don't want that to happen to you, because after all, you deserve something special for your contribution as a woman for the last 20 years. Sometimes I'm sure that you think you have been involved in a thankless journey. No, that is not the attitude. That is the very thing that should say, now I am stopping. I am deciding to do something for myself. I'm going to balance my family life as well as my financial life. I'm going to balance that. I'm going to do something for myself. And I am not going to feel guilty, because it is not just that I deserve it. That is my new chapter. A chapter that says, I am reclaiming myself. You must reclaim yourself. You need to realize that there is so much in store. It is not too late for you to open a new chapter. A chapter that is taking you to the next level. A chapter that says, be kind to yourself. A chapter that says, Even though you are now over 40, you still have a future. You still have, yes, it is not too late. Right. Let's look at this. What is it that I am suggesting you do as from today? What is important is that I want you to remember, because maybe you have forgotten. I want you to remember that the past 20 years have been the years where you've been on training, the years that have been nurturing your growth. No regrets. What is important is for you to understand that the highs and lows of the past 20 years are the raw material that have made you who you are, and let us assemble that. You know what? Let me share this little story about myself when I was feeling stuck. I had to look back. I was not even aware that I had so much. I had gathered so much. I had lived such an enriching experience, whether it was sad, whether it was a joyous occasion, whether it was on a professional front. I had taken that for granted. I hadn't realized that I was rich. I had lived a rich life, and that my next chapter, the chapter that opened me to monetizing my lived experiences, was literally buried there. The same thing applies to you. I am looking you straight in the eye that your lived experience, that is where your next chapter, that is where your financial freedom is buried. Dig it out. And what is also important is that, as I say, dig out where your financial success is buried from your lived experience. You know, you don't need decades of time. What you need is a strategy. And that saved me from being confused, from giving up, from being plunged into helplessness and powerlessness. I had to work out a strategy. And the first strategy, it was to reskill myself. It was to be particular about financial management, to move away from being this go-to aunt who keeps on doling out and sacrificing. That had to stop. I monitored my income and expenditure. I started reading financial management books, and it's been very liberating. I downgraded my lifestyle so that at least it could be a lifestyle that removes financial pressure. What I also did, because I couldn't afford to be sick, I became very particular about health. So here was wealth, here was health, and here was the freedom that I began to enjoy. The freedom as I was reclaiming myself, the freedom as I was taking myself to the next chapter and just loving myself, not feeling guilty. Because you know what? There is something that I learned. Maybe you have learned that too. When the chips are down, family and friends don't want to be associated with you. So you are on your own. And I wouldn't hide that from you because I've been there. You are on your own. Nobody is there to come and rescue you. You are on your own. And then another, third, and very, very important aspect of this conversation is that you need to be honest with yourself. You need to sit and jot down in a very honest, non-judgmental manner. Just jot down what you have, jot down what you owe, and embark on a strategy just to trim your life. It is important for you to do that. And as I did, it was so liberating just to trim the frills. And I started feeling light. I was not hard on myself because there was no guilt. I had done the best that needed to be done, actually, because there were emergencies. But I then learned that the next chapter, as an above 40 woman, the next chapter needed to be different, to be meaningful. The same thing, even when it came to understanding what wealth is, I became particular about observing my thoughts, banishing those thoughts of doubt where I was punishing myself and feeling guilty, judging myself. No. That was not taking me forward. So I learned that my thoughts are just clouds. They are mental clouds. That there was something solid. There was something special. There was something abundant buried in me. I forgot about the shiny objects. I forgot about the noises out there. I forgot about the geopolitics, because after all, I accepted that I couldn't change the world. But I needed to change myself and be comfortable within the rest. Didn't matter. What mattered was who I was inside. The same thing applies to you. What matters? It's your inner world. That is where wealth lies. That is where freedom lies. And that is where you would find yourself become healthy, lighter, and celebrating and being grateful for just being you. After all, there is no other person except the unique you. So, it's been a journey, an exciting journey. And that is why I am sharing this with you. I would like you to do something for me. First of all, just one thing. Decide what you want to do with your life. Just imagine, just one thing. How would you like your financial life to be? Can you think about that? Also, could you indicate where are you watching from? Because I would like just to see how I am reaching out to the women over 40. You may be in the UK, you may be in the US, you may be in Africa, you may be in Canada, in Australia, in Germany. Please indicate. And don't forget, can you share with me just this one thing? How do you want your financial life to be And that's important so that we can take this conversation forward, because I'm going to be running a series along these lines for the next 4 to 6 weeks. And I really look forward to receiving your comments. And for now, I appreciate that you are here. Do remember to like this video, subscribe, and share with other women so that we build a community of women who feel comfortable, confident, and who are appreciated for who they are. You are special, but learn to appreciate yourself first. And that's the purpose of these videos. Thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.